certain things about unions, there's things that I worry about, like for example, no matter what, we're always going to have the last in, first out. So you end up losing your people that really have 25 to 30 years to give to the district, but someone who's maybe kind of given up or just not working as hard. You know, we understand if someone has a rougher year than others, we all have better years than others, but it doesn't allow us to create this collage of who do we think we know should be around our kids. I mean, I think we have good teachers, I think we have some great teachers, but there's nothing that allows us to do that. And one of the problems is we're living with contracts that were developed in the 80s to try to attract people up here when there was the population, when there was the economy, and they're almost impossible to sustain. So.
And I can say from my perspective, we really are looking at the contracts. It's something that we need to take it to the community. The community needs to see these contracts.
Post them.
That was actually motioned in the last meeting. It's going to be discussed. See Through New York is where I send people as well.
If you Google it, you can see all
you can see all the contracts. It's important that you understand how they're being paid. They're public servants. They work for you. They work for our kids. They work for us. So it's important that we all understand how those contracts are set up. It's all public knowledge, and you know you can voice your opinion. But more important is actually reaching out to the union, because we're trying to protect the district. We're trying to create a great place to work, a great place to live. If you can't have those things and you don't want to be a part of it, that's when we have to start saying, what are we doing wrong? But what I'm looking for is people who are willing to pitch in to the situation we have, because Ontario is a great district, and it can be so much better. And all we have to do is reach out and touch the people who are participating and make sure that they throw in their 2 cents too.
Okay, we're going to take one more, Charlie.
Olive Assessor Bill Cook requested some data from the school, and shows that in 97 and 98 we had about 2,500 students. Since then, we're down over 1,000 students, a little over 1,000, and in that same period of time, we are down 5 teachers. So we now have about 8.7 students per teacher, and you would think that in that period of time that would have improved these statistics, which aren't that great. So, well, I guess there's a few questions. One is, what data indicates that our loss of enrollment is going to level off? And is 8.7 students per teacher a reasonable staffing level, given that, you know, the relatively few number of students per teacher hasn't really improved these statistics that much, if any?
Good questions.
And you could get back to me at a later time. I'll give you my email.
That would be great.
Yeah.
All right, can you give me the exact language on those two? I've written some notes, but...
Yeah, 1997, 1998, the enrollment was 2,400, very close to 50. It's about 2,450.
Okay.
Today, I believe it's 12...
14.
No, it's 14, is it 5262 was on the bed schedule.
It's 1,000 less.
It's 1,000 less.
1,000 less, and 5 teachers less. So for every 200 students we lose a teacher.
You know, you're absolutely right, because I've been looking at the staffing patterns too, and we really have, you know, I can't argue this point. I mean, there's more mandates, but not to this extent. And along with pulling the class sizes together, that would result in reductions. Last year, we actually eliminated, which makes me wonder about years before, we eliminated the equivalent of 11 full-time positions. And we really brought back about 1.5 in part-time positions. So we did reduce from last year to this. I have some numbers that I've been working with that I've been drafting out. I've been reviewing the pupil services department. I've been meeting with building principals, and everything's going to be looked at, including things such as the business office, because there's certain things that are efficiencies that we can purchase through BOCES, and they will staff the positions, and then what happens is we get aid back on them, so it generates revenue, and it may also be cost efficient for us. So we're really going through this time, instead of just rolling over budgets that has happened in the past, we are really looking to scrub this budget and look at every position. And I do assure you that that's what I've started doing already personally in the departments. So
you'll share those figures with me?
I will share those figures as I can share them out, but eventually they'll all be released. Realize that when we cut positions, it's pretty easy to figure out who the person is, and there's a way that we have to make sure we let people know before something becomes public knowledge, that we give someone the courtesy that this is what the statistic's going to be and they're going to see themselves. I had a teacher come up to me yesterday when I did a presentation at Bennett with the staff, and wonderful special ed teacher, also looking very pregnant, and said to me, "Is my job going to be here next year?" And I said to her, and I know exactly where she is on the line, I know exactly what I'm thinking about as I've reviewed the special services, and I said, I can't promise you that.
Just as you can't promise anyone that they'll be able to pay their taxes here next year. So we have the same issue amongst our taxpayers, in that those of modest income are being forced out. So yes, I very much feel for your pregnant teacher, but my neighbors that are being forced out, I feel for them also.
And I do understand that. As I said, I mean, my brother was unemployed this past year and a half. Never thought that would happen to him. We've had friends lose their jobs. I never thought I would sell my house in Niskayuna for $50,000 below assessed value and have to first rent it in order to sell it. I think this economy, that's why we understand we're not rejecting anything about needing to cut. We have to figure out how to do it. We're going to do it in a way that does improve performance, doesn't try to protect these scores, because I know that something's systemically wrong if this is the way we're performing. And I'm coming to you now, and for some people like that have been very involved, I know it's not new news for you, but for me, as much as I researched the district before I came here, it certainly is more news for me probably than for many of you, but we are getting ahead of it, we're getting a very good handle on it, and we will be mapping out plans and sharing them. I promise you, okay? And I'll take your email.
Yeah.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to thank you for coming. I don't believe there's any more we'll go on. Moving along. I'd like to introduce Wayne Turner. He's the director of the Ashokan Foundation Incorporated. People that don't know that name, it's the old camp that used to be so affiliated with the New Paltz College. And he would like to explain something to us, and we're glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, as you may or may not know, we're in the process of rebuilding our entire campus due to the releases that come from the Ashokan Reservoir. Our lower campus down on the creek bank is in jeopardy of going underwater, and so with an arrangement with New York City DEP a few years ago before I arrived, I'm the new executive director here, we were able to get some funding for rebuilding our campus on higher ground within the same property. We are well underway with that project, although we don't have enough funds to fund the whole project. New York City gave us $5.2 million towards a $7.25 million project all told. We've raised some money privately to help support that. We just signed a loan with the Catskill Watershed Corporation for $1 million to help front the construction, and hopefully we can raise more money over a longer period of time to pay that loan back. But in the meantime, an opportunity